If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again and welcome to episode number 134 of My Player here on FIFA 15. Today we'll be having a look at our accomplishments so I can show you how we're growing so far in this particular series, addressing a certain issue that crops up again and again, and obviously I have addressed it numerous times throughout this series, but I will do again to those of you that might be new, and we'll play this game at home against Malaga as well as we try and close in on Real Madrid at the top of the table. We are now second, and everybody else has played games to catch up with us and they haven't been able to take advantage of having that extra game. We sit on 65 points. Espanyol, Barcelona and Valencia all sit on 64. And of course only the top four qualify for the Champions League. So ridiculously close for those Champions League spots. And I think we have 4 games left, 12 points available. The title has already been won by Real Madrid. Congratulations to our city rivals. They are champions of La Liga for this 5th season in, is it 2018-2019? It is. The 2018-2019 season, Real Madrid win La Liga. Now, obviously, throughout this series, and basically, I know a lot of people complain in the comments, almost every single episode at the minute, about the fact that I'm not growing. And the fact that we've been 80 rated for a while, and they go, why don't you use BOOSTS, says? And I can appreciate that, a lot of you people that are commenting that haven't watched the series from the start and have joined halfway through, etc., and don't necessarily, or weren't necessarily aware of the initial aim when we started this series back in September when the game came out. But the main initial aim was to get as far as we possibly could without using boosts. There are still 4 months left in FIFA, so we've still got plenty of time to continue to grow. We have unlocked a lot of accomplishments, and I'll show you. Let me go into the squad report and I'll show you our actual overall stats, and then I'll show you the accomplishments to show you how we got there. I don't know whether anyone is interested in the rest of the squad. If you are, then let me know and I can perhaps show you the rest of the squad in a separate video. But these are my stats at present. 84 acceleration, 88 sprint speed, 85 stamina, 82 agility, 86 attack positioning and 83 vision, 87 dribbling with 89 ball control and 82 finishing are all the dark green standout stats. But we're an extremely good player and we've scored goals everywhere we've been, and a lot of goals as well. Yes, we're not growing very fast, but the game is built from the ground up with the idea in mind that you will use the boosts from the catalogue throughout your career to help boost your rating. Also, what doesn't help is the majority of the boosts work solely for midfielders, and of course we're a forward and there aren't that many that are, solely locked behind a you must be a forward to get this accomplishment wall, whereas there are a lot that are behind the you must be a midfielder or a defender to get this accomplishment. And unfortunately, as a forward this year, we haven't been able to unlock any of the ones that are down as a midfielder. In previous years, I don't know whether this was the case last year or not because I never actually looked into it, but in previous years you were actually able to change your position on the fly during a career mode, and if you wanted to swap from being a striker to a midfielder to try a different role, etc., you were able to do so. However, in this particular version of My Player, you're not able to change your position, unfortunately. So we have to stay with a forward. The plan is, because we've had all of these problems this year, or because it's caused such a furore this year, next year on FIFA 16, I will be starting as a central attacking midfielder rather than a forward. But the main issue is, and why I haven't used boost to this point, like I said from the start, I wanted to see how far I could get on merit. Just my performances, my abilities, my goal scoring skills, my ability to be involved in good play, get accomplishments myself, see how far we could get in a full 12-month span of FIFA My Player. Obviously, we are only 7 or 8 months into that particular span. Like I say, there are still 4 months left until the next FIFA, so there's plenty of time for us to move up from 76% overall striker progress to nearer to 100%. Obviously, again, with the boosts, last year, after 3 seasons, I think it was, I started going into the catalogue and giving myself a boost whenever I got a 9+ rating in-game. This year, I have not been able to do that because everybody has gifted me stuff through the EA Sports Football catalogue, and if I open that catalogue, I get gifted pretty much every single item in that entire catalogue. Now, that would rapidly increase my player overall immediately overnight and jump from, say, 80 to 87, 88, which is not the aim or the idea behind doing a My Player series. And also, it gifts me numerous financial takeovers which would ruin other career mode series, especially the career mode Road to Glory, where we have worked so hard over 4 to 5 seasons to get where we are in the Premier League, and been working on a tight budget, and I'm proud of where we've got by working with a tight budget in that series. And I don't want to be gifted 2 or 3, well, it'll be more than 2 or 3 different financial takeovers and have it ruin that series or the Inter series or any future career mode series that I may do. And some people say in a retort to that, well, why don't you just set up another career mode series and use the boosts there so that you can then continue on in the other one unchanged. And that is a valid point, but it's just not worth the risk to try it. If I go into it and it doesn't for some reason use all of the boosts, and then I go into the main proper one and then it doesn't use the boost or the financial takeover, then the series is tainted, and I don't want my series to be tainted. I want my series to be what I intended them to be from the beginning. And I know it's only a vocal minority that seem to have an issue with the way that My Player is going right now. There are plenty of you, thousands of you, that have been watching and supporting this series from day one and enjoying it the way it was meant to be, the way I intended the series to be. And I can't thank you enough for the way that you have shown support to this series and all of my other series throughout the year by watching them and enjoying them the same way that I enjoy making them. Next year I will definitely start as a midfielder so that we can have. Let me actually switch it to locked accomplishments so you can see what we've got left. Next year I will definitely be starting as a midfielder to make sure that we have a larger base number of accomplishments for me to unlock so that we can grow quicker via just straight accomplishment unlocks. And next year I'm going to do the My Player on a different account with a gamer tag that I won't release so people can't give me stuff, so that if I do want to get something from the catalogue, I can without risk of it affecting other series or artificially boosting my particular pro in this series too far at once. If you see where I'm coming from. I know I've kind of waffled on for about 7 or 8 minutes on this particular topic, and I apologise for that, but I just wanted to say it again. I've mentioned it 4 or 5 times throughout the course of the year. I know the channel is growing and more people are coming in, and you're not necessarily or haven't necessarily seen or heard the explanation for that particular reason previously, so I'm saying it again, and I'll probably have to make another video towards the end of the summer as well as to why I'm not. The plan is at the very end of this year, maybe even for the last full season, or at least last partial season, when we get to the end of the FIFA 15 life cycle, I will go into the catalogue, unlock all of the boosts at once, and we'll see what happens to our overall pros rating, and we'll try and play with our pro being as high as he possibly can be for a season. But until that point, I want to earn everything myself. So it's just a personal preference. It's the way I like to play My Player. It's the way I like to record My Player. It's the way I like my series on YouTube to be. If you enjoy that, then watch it. If you don't enjoy that and it's annoying you, then I'm not forcing you to watch my content. But, there are thousands of you out there that have watched and have enjoyed and do appreciate the way that I'm trying to run the My Player series, and I thank you for being so understanding. If you are part of the vocal minority, I apologise that you don't like the way that I do things, but this is the way that I do things, and I would have done what I did last year with going into the catalogue and unlocking 1 boost for every 9+ rating, but I can't do that because of the tens and tens, maybe even hundreds of gifts that people have sent me through the EA Sports Football Club, which would ruin this and other series. That is why I don't use boosts. I'll show you the accomplishments, then we'll jump into that game against Malaga. As you can see, we're barely any left on the ball skills, but some, like you can see here, midfielder or forward. There are a few that are midfielder or forward. There are a lot that are as a midfielder, and they come in obviously the defence ones are defensive. You need to be a defensive player. A lot of the mental ones actually are either defence-based with the tackles, etc. Seal-outs, I could probably go out of my way to try and get some seal-outs. Yellow cards, I don't understand why you would get rewarded for being booked and making fouls, etc. But you can see here, win the league as a midfielder, as a midfielder, as a midfielder, as a defender, as a midfielder, as a defender, as a midfielder, as a defender or a midfielder. And there are loads that are like this with defender or midfielder, but there are so few that are as a midfielder or forward, or just solely as a forward. As you can see, a lot of the ones that we've unlocked to this point are stuff that we could unlock as a midfielder, and then there is plenty more accomplishments that we could unlock as a midfielder that we haven't had access to this year. It is frustrating that you aren't able to switch positions throughout the course of a season, or of a series, of a career, because obviously players do change position throughout their career. The most recent one and most glaringly obvious one in recent times is Gareth Bale, moving from left back to one of the best attacking midfielders that the world has currently got playing the game. But unfortunately for my player this year, that isn't the case, and you're not able to change your position. Maybe for FIFA 16 they'll improve it and we will be able to. I'm not entirely too sure. But as you can see, we've got 31 of 40 assists at the minute for this accomplishment. So 31 assists so far this career isn't that bad. It's more than we got last year in my player, and we have been a lot better at scoring goals this year as well. I'll show you our goal scoring accomplishments. I'll go into the tab that where you can see your career on a year-by-year basis. But as you can see, a lot of things that are just accumulative over the course of a career. But things like assists, etc., a lot of the time we've played up top as a sole striker. And other times, most notably this year, when you're playing alongside Raul Jimenez, even if you do play balls in to teammates, they're not going to score it anyway. And 99% of the time, I'm the guy on the end of the chances, not the guy setting up the chances. But obviously as a midfielder next year, we could do both. But again, you can say Player of the Year award is for all positions, but then you've got as a midfielder, as a midfielder, as a midfielder. And the other versions of these are just not tied to a position. So we've been able to unlock those, but they're not specifically as a forward. They're just win the league, be in the team of the week, be the player of the month. So I can get those as a forward, but then I can't get these ones. Whereas if I was a midfielder, I could get both of them unlocked at the same time. So I know a lot of people make comparisons between myself and Docklands as my player as well, but I believe he is a midfielder, so he has a lot more accomplishments available to him, and he's using boosts, which obviously I'm not able to do. So but I will do next year. I want to hammer that point home. Next year I will do it as a midfielder, so there are more accomplishments, and next year I will do it on a separate account so I can access the the EA Sports Football Club catalogue, so that you guys can see me grow using boosts as well. Initially I don't think I'll use boosts for the first 2 or 3 seasons, which was the intention for this series, but as it turned out, I'm going to have to go almost the entire series without using boosts. But to be fair, at the end of the day, our overall isn't the most important thing above everything else. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good your player is. The main aim is to win trophies, and we are doing that so far in our career. We've won stuff at Cambridge. We came close to winning stuff at Sunderland, but did qualify for the Champions League at Sunderland. We were on course to win stuff at Lyon, but obviously left halfway through the season to go to Napoli and came close with Napoli. And did we win the league with Napoli? I can't quite remember. I know we have won we won the league with Cambridge, didn't we? And obviously at Atleti, we are close to winning stuff as well. So my main aim is to win trophies, not to get the highest rating, whereas I know a lot of you guys prefer to have the highest rating, and it don't necessarily take into account stuff that you actually achieve on the pitch. It's all about the stuff you achieve in the menus. But I try and treat it as a genuine, kind of reflective of a real life career. You don't have to be the best player in the world ever to win lots of trophies, and that's my main aim with this series. And we are growing quite nicely. We're 80 rated overall, and you can see some of our individual stats are very impressive. It's just the overall game that isn't that high, and obviously that would be boosted by the defensive boosts that I could get in the catalogue. But again, I can't use them this year. But hopefully next year things will be a lot more to the majority's liking, or everybody's liking, rather than just the majority and having this vocal minority that seem to be disappointed with every single My Player episode that I put out. But the physical stats, as you can see, again, defensive headers in your own box, I'm not involved in that sort of stuff, and again, a lot of it is as a defender, or as a defender as a midfielder, so I can't do that. Shooting-wise, we've unlocked a lot of accomplishments. We've unlocked 68 to this point, but again, it's stuff that you would be able to unlock regardless of position. So as a midfielder, I could get all the shots on target, and as the player of the month, as a midfielder or forward, rather than just a forward. So that if we got player of the month, that would unlock that one, and the other one we looked at in the previous menu, where you can unlock it as being a midfielder as well. Again, it's midfielder or forward. So it's really frustrating that they don't offer more options to you as a forward. But regardless, we still have 38 shooting accomplishments to achieve, although we're close with headers. We will get to the goals sooner rather than later, you would have thought, to this 201, and our finishing will go up too. And hopefully that would, help boost our overall. Because I get the feeling with the fact that we're close to a few of these, like goals from outside the box, I only need 2 more free kicks, 2 more chances from a penalty shootout, although I don't necessarily take a lot of free kicks, or we don't necessarily get into a lot of penalty shootouts, but we only need a handful more penalties, and I'm only a little way away from a few accomplishments in the key areas like finishing and heading for a striker that should see us raise up to 81 overall. And I've waffled on for so much in this episode. I think this is actually all the episode is going to be. I'm not going to have time to actually give you a game today, but I wanted to address the issue, and the issue has been addressed. So hopefully you guys, those of you that were the vocal minority, can understand where I'm coming from, and obviously those of you that have supported the series from day one and are appreciative of the way that I've been trying to run this series, then thank you to you guys for your continued support. But that is going to bring today's video to a close. Obviously on Saturday we'll play the game then against Malaga, and we'll play Real Sociedad as well, and then on Sunday we'll have the final 2 games of this season against Bilbao and Valencia, and then next week we can think about what's going to happen in season number 5, whether we season number 6, won't it be? Whether we stay at Atleti or whether we move on. We spent season 1 at Cambridge, season 2 at Sunderland, season 3 was spent half at Napoli, half at Lyon, half at Napoli. Season 4 was spent at Manchester United, and season 5 has been spent here at Atletico. So we do look like, hopefully, we'll be able to achieve Champions League qualification for Atleti in this particular season, and then I will, as always, open it up to you guys via a vote to see whether we stay here at Atleti and try and do well in the Champions League and go for that title in La Liga and actually spend a second season at a team for the first time in this series, or whether we move on again. But that'll be on Sunday's episode, maybe even into Tuesday's episode. But that will bring today's episode to a close. Again, apologies for no gameplay, but I felt the issue needed to be addressed again because it seems to be cropping up in the comment section more often than not these days. And hopefully you guys can understand where I'm coming from with all of the points I made, and the initial intent for this series was to get as far as we possibly could on the back of our own on-pitch efforts. But that will bring today's video to a close. Again, thank you for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Let me know your feedback in the comments. I know some of it will be negative, but I'm more than willing to take any advice on board. Constructive criticism rather than just, Ches, you're a shit cunt. That doesn't help anyone, but obviously if you've got some constructive criticism, then I am more than willing to take it on board to help me improve as a YouTuber. But that will bring today... Oh, I keep saying that same phrase. I'm going. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.